on? Griff, are you out there?
I'm here.
I see you, Arthur.
Yeah.
Griff, are you out there? I
Yep.
saw you, Mrs. Okay.
I'm here.
Mrs. Johnson, let me say this before we get started. Steve will not be on this Zoom. We're not 100% sure he will be on in the morning either. He's feeling a little bit under the weather. Again, and Melanie, correct me if I'm wrong, he stated it's not COVID. I do know he took his shot on the 3rd of March, maybe the 4th. So whatever that's worth, but he's just feeling bad. So he will not be on the Zoom, and we're not sure he will be on in the morning. Okay. So I wanted to go ahead and get that out there. But again, I'd like to say hello to everyone and good afternoon. We appreciate the council that are on. We appreciate the team members, the teammates, and everyone that's on. So trust that everybody's had a good day today and that we'll continue to have a good day. So it is 3, as we've stated. I am calling the meeting to order at this time. As you all know, no actions are taken. This is in preparation for tomorrow, which we will get into the council meeting agenda also on tomorrow. So with that, I'd like to call on Council Member Johnson to lead us with the invocation.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
Johnson, okay.
Let us pray. Our heavenly and loving Father, Lord, we come to you at this very hour, asking for your blessings. Lord, help us to just do the business of Phenix City right now. Lord, we pray for your guidance in the matters at hand on the agenda. And we ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy, a spirit of kindness, and a spirit of enthusiasm as we go through the agenda items. And Lord, we're asking for a special blessing upon our council member Bailey. Lord, we thank you right now for us the desires to find ways to excel in our work. Help us, oh Lord, to come together to encourage one another for excellence. Lord, thank you for helping us find a somewhat of a cure for this health pandemic. We thank you for bringing us help among your people, Father God. We ask that you would just strengthen our community, bless our state house and our White House and all those that live among your land, Father God. Oh Lord, bless each other. Keep us physically safe, God, and guide our hearts and minds day in and day out. Keep love right now at the forefront of our minds today. And the God and light that we all set out to accomplish in this meeting. And Father God, the persons that's going to come before us, Lord, let us listen with an open mind, a listening ear, and a humble heart. Lord, we ask these blessings among your precious and holy Jesus Christ's name. Let every heart say amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mrs. Johnson.
You're welcome.
Good. We will proceed on, council. As we know, this is the work session, as I stated. At this time, we do have a person, council, that wants to address the council. Name is Mrs. Veronica Walker. Is Mrs. Walker, are you out there?
Mayor, I do not see Miss Walker.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's do this, council, if it's the pleasure of the council. If she gets in a little later, I do think we need to afford her the opportunity to address us. So since she's not on at this time, we don't know whether she will be on, but if she does get on, council, if that's okay, that we will still afford her the time to address us, okay?
That's fine.
Clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So proceeding on, Angel,
Yes, sir.
do you have your stool that you can sit on?
Mayor.
I'm just, you know what? I shouldn't have said that because there's been a lot of things happening this weekend because people was teasing. You know how it can turn the other thing, but I think you know my heart. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Well, we did have one item on the agenda. It was tabled from the February 9th, 2021 meeting. It was the public hearing and approval of the rezone of 0.34 acres located at 5202 Somerville Road from an A1 zone, which is low density residential and general agricultural district, to a C3 zone, which is neighborhood commercial district. David Alexander Quinney was the owner. We opened the public hearing again, and we did not have anyone come and address us at this public hearing as what they did 2 weeks ago. Planning Commission closed the public hearing. A motion was made to recommend to the City Council to approve the rezone. It passed. There was one abstention, but the rezone did pass, and it will be on your agenda, I think, for first reading today.
Yes, it is. Exactly. Thank you. Any questions or comments? Any question, council? Let me say this is for my clarification, and I don't know whether to be a learning tool for the other council member, but Jimmy, once this take place, is it 2 weeks or 30 days before for the length of the sign to be up that you want to rezone? Jimmy, can you hear me?
Oh, I was trying to get off of mute.
Okay.
Gil,
Gil, is it?
how long does it have to be up?
The sign has to be up when they turned in the application, and that's why we tabled the initial planning commission meeting.
Yes.
When they had the public hearing, we put them on first reading. We had a public hearing that had only been up a short period of time, so we kind of started their process over.
So
Yeah,
is it
only been up like a week? Is that right, Gil?
Well, it was less than a week, I believe. It went up on a Thursday. I'm not sure of the date. And the planning commission meeting was that Tuesday for the public hearing.
so
We have
fair enough?
corrected that through our process now through planning. We will not allow them to turn in an application until they sign saying that the sign has been put up.
I thought that maybe it had to be a number of days before that it had to be up, but that's not the case. It just has to be up at the appropriate time.
Yes, sir. So it's really up for, you've got your 2 weeks before, which it goes to acceptance, and then another 2 weeks before public hearing. So it's up for a large amount of
30 days. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That I knew it was why it was tabled, but I didn't know whether it was a certain length of day that the sign had to be up. So, and that was just for my knowledge, from a learning tool for me. Okay.
In other words, they have to be a total amount of days, which would be about 30 days. The total amount of days.
Melanie, I don't know, how long is the process? Does it go through council?
On a rezone, it'll come up for approval of the public hearing and
April
the
6th.
ordinance, with the ordinance inside the public hearing, public notice, and then we have to run it in the paper 2 consecutive times, a synopsis the second time, and then it has to wait 15 days before it comes up for the public hearing and or approval. So you're looking at a month with council, and you're probably looking at a month with planning commission too.
Again, the reason why I asked was just for my knowledge of the number of days, but I just for my knowledge. Appreciate that.
Good. That was a good question, Mayor. Do the people, when we say put up the rezoning sign, is the city putting it up, or the persons who is coming before the planning commission, and do they have to put it up?
It would be the person that's coming before the planning commission. They get the signs from our building department, but they would have to put it up on their own.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I was wondering.
Thank you, Gil and Angel, Jimmy, appreciate it. Thank you all. Proceeding on the city clerk at this time, Melanie.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to go over a few dates on your calendar. Of course, tomorrow, the council meeting's at 9 a.m. via Zoom. On Wednesday, the 3rd, there is going to be a Historic Preservation Commission meeting at 4. I believe that Chief Smith's going to be going over an ordinance and a resolution with that commission. On March the 14th, just want to remind everybody that our daylight savings time begins. So if y'all remember to set your clock forward. The next day, on Monday, the 15th, we have a work session at 3 p.m. Then a council meeting on the 16th. Now that is the meeting that typically travels around, and I know we everyone had decided that we would just do that by Zoom at 9 a.m. That's kind of been the consensus for about a month now. But something's come up with an ordinance for the sewer revenue warrants. Ordinance is more than likely going to be on that agenda. Y'all will have to meet in person to pass that ordinance. So that's going to, and I know we had talked about 9 a.m., but for all of you to be there, we're going to need to keep it at 6 p.m. And that will be at the Martin Idlehour Park Community Center. So I just wanted to touch base with y'all and make sure that keeping it at 6 in person is still good with all of y'all.
That's on the 16th, so we're going back to 6 with the original. And due to the funding, we need to be there in person, okay?
Right, and I just found that out just very recently, so.
Okay.
Then looking into April, we have a work session on Monday, the 5th at 3 p.m. by Zoom. And then April the 6th, council meeting at 9 a.m. by Zoom. Then 2 weeks later on the 19th, work session at 3 p.m. by Zoom, and a council meeting on the 20th at 9 a.m. by Zoom. Then the other things that I had, the East Alabama Mental Health Retardation Board has 2 positions on it coming up for y'all to review, and that'll be coming up on your agenda in April. So y'all have got this month to look at what y'all would like to do. I think one person we were successful in talking with, and the other person we were not. So we'll keep you advised if we hear back from that second person. And then the last thing I wanted to touch base with y'all, I know y'all know that in May, we have the Alabama League of Municipalities 2021 annual convention meeting. And during that, they have the voting delegate, and they always send out an authorization form wanting to know who the voting delegate will be, and they always have a first or a second alternate. This year, we do have 3 council members that will be attending. So if y'all can look over the email I had sent out earlier and just let me know who you want to be the voting delegate and the first and second alternate, so we can get that form turned into Alabama League.
So what you're saying, the 3 of those have to talk and make that decision. Correct, Melanie? 2 of the 3.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess it'll come down to, I don't know if y'all want to vote on it or just let them decide. I just need to know.
What haven't in the past, have we voted on? Didn't we vote on it in the past?
In the past, y'all have always decided in a work session,
Yeah.
not really in a council meeting. It's not anything we've ever really taken a vote on. But this form is a little different than the one we've had in past years. And actually on this one, they're wanting to know what meeting that y'all voted on it.
But so do we have to vote? I guess that should be the question. Or could we do it while we're in the work session? Could we do it the way we've done it in the past based on what I've heard from you that we've done it in work sessions?
Well, let me say this, Mayor. The last 2 times I've been the voting delegate. So what I'll do, I just take myself out of the equation. They're between the other 2 councils that are going, and make it easier that way. One can be the alternate. One can be the voting delegate.
So that
last 2 times I had the opportunity to do that.
Okay. So
What I can do, Mayor, I can just put it on the next agenda, on the agenda for the 16th.
16.
Right, and y'all can just, if y'all want to just vote on it that way, kind of like how y'all do a board.
Yeah, appointment.
Right, like a board appointment, we can do it like that. And then that way, at the bottom of the form, I can just fill in the council meeting that y'all voted on.
On that particular.
Yeah.
So
I was going to yield to, since Councilmember Bailey is not present, I was just going to yield, and he could be the voting delegate. I could be the first alternate, but that's fine. We can look the next time.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what I said. That's
Yeah.
why I'm taking myself out of there. You 2 guys can handle it.
Right. And
so that's how we're presented then. And Steve got nothing, when you're not here, you're the one that get everything get put up on. So
well, he's been serving along. So I was
okay. We'll take action on the 16th. All minds clear on that?
That's
Council?
fine. That's fine.
Rick, you okay with that?
Let me also just
Yes.
something about the board appoint, nothing about the board appointments, but the terminology, the language used. I don't know if it's politically correct to still use the word retardation board, retardation. Is that, we can kind of look at probably changing that title.
To what?
What I just threw out there. Take out retardation.
I mean, what would you replace it with?
I mean, it's a mental health board. Just, it does say East Alabama Mental Health, and then it has a dash, and then it's mental retardation board. Just take out retardation, mental health board.
How are they delivering it? They being the organization.
I believe this may be a state organization.
Yeah.
They have a 33-member full board that meets once a year. So just based on that, I can check into it, but I'm thinking that may be a state board, and that may.
Yeah, but that's why I question, does that needs to be driven from the top down to us as far as that, Ms. Carter Johnson?
If it is a state board, yeah, it'll probably have to, come from that level down to us. Yeah.
So,
But,
if I may interject, Mayor, I'll point out that Ms. Carter Johnson is correct in that mental retardation is actually not in the DSM or the Diagnostic Statistical Manual anymore. They call it intellectual disability or general learning disability, also was formerly known as MR, mental retardation. So that terminology has in fact been updated in the psychological DSM. So maybe that's something we should, I guess, point out to the state.
but they would have to
do it right, like we talked about. They would have to do it, but I would be more than welcome to approach that, since that's a board that we work with in the law enforcement field, and that's what they call it now is intellectual disability or ID instead of MR.
Okay, so
that's an interesting point that she brought up.
Is that a recommendation we could send to the state if it's a state? I mean, I would assume that there's some way we could probably send a recommendation asking or a request asking.
Yeah, I don't see why, because they're gonna have the final say anyway, but we can let them know what our thoughts are.
If y'all don't mind, let me check on it and see what the proper procedure and all will be. And if we need to, make a letter or something from all of y'all, making a recommendation, then I can get that worked up for everybody to sign. Will that be good?
That sounds good.
Yeah, that's
good.
like I said, everything has to be properly correct now, but I'm kind of antiquated, old school, how they say kids have a eating disorder. I still call them greedy. So y'all forgive me if I don't say it correctly. Anything else, Melanie?
No, sir, that was it. Unless somebody had any more questions.
No, that's it.
Okay, we will proceed under the city manager for the monthly department reports and council, as we've always done, and they're still hoping this the privilege of you all that we ask any question pertaining to certain department heads for the sake of time. If it's okay with the council, we'll continue to keep that process that instead of asking each department head or there any specific question per department head or to department head that would like to be addressed. I would start like I always do. If it's okay with the council, Mrs. Johnson, are there any specific question that you would like to ask to any of the department head for their report? For the sake of time, as we've always done.
I just have just a couple. I just want to I noticed we still have the speeding sign. I'm not sure the name of the street in the back of Hardee's, and we've had it there for some time. And there was I got a call from a constituent on 10th Avenue. And I don't know how many we have, and I know that they continue to have to be recharged, but I wanted to, I asked about, they the citizens asked me about one over on 10th. You know, we're still having a whole lot of speeding. I continue to say it's a citywide issue, and we're trying our best to try to address this as quickly as possible. But again, just going back to that quick text she sent me, she said a car was driving fast and hit him we was talking, and he died in the moment, and the car just stopped and looked and left. And the worst part, Anna saw everything what happened, and so they lost their puppy to a fast, and I guess he was going to do business across the street. He was coming back across the street, so unfortunately he didn't make it. So my question is, do we have enough that we can start circulating back again in the sometime this month?
Is that the question for Chief Smith?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, we can certainly look at that. To answer your question, we have 4 of those units. One of them we've had on Broad, and we've tried to keep it on Broad. The other one that was again a hotspot. So anytime we have a hotspot, if you'll just email those to city manager, we'll put it on our list and we'll move them as we can. I think that Jeff had taken my maintenance sergeant who was running those, he took a couple of days off. He had some user lose time, and that might be where we're behind a little bit, because I thought that one on behind Hardee's had already been moved, but we'll look and see where it needs to go next.
Okay, and that was on 10th Avenue. This lady sent the request from 10th Avenue. Got a compliment to the city also up 2nd Avenue up by I think that's Faithful Missionary Baptist Church up in that area. They left notice that those streets look very, very clean. So they had the street sweepers going by, and it makes all the difference. I tell you, you know, you think that these items are small, but I tell you, the people that live in the neighborhood, they really appreciate that. So I want to pass that along. They said it looked real good when this street sweeper comes by. And one of the ways that it has to happen is that with the garbage receptacles, they have to come in at a certain time after the trash has been empty. You know, you can't leave them in the road. And I, you know, continue to tell people that also, because we can see results like this throughout our city. And so again, I want to just pass that along, coming from citizens up on 2nd Avenue, I believe that was. And lastly, Chief, do we have any types of Crime Stopper or drug dealer eviction program in place to kind of help out? I continue, got a lot of calls. I know we just had another mishap over the day or so. And we're just praying. We're just trying to see what other solutions and plans that we have in place to kind of help with some of this. So do we have any Crime Stoppers program in place where people could call to, and you know, it's very likely for anyone to, you know, just not tell. And I always say, you know, if you see something, say something, but I guess that's just me. But
we're a member of the East Alabama Crime Stoppers Association out of Montgomery, and that's on our webpage, as well as our PCPD at phoenixcityaL.us email. And we also have a app. Phoenix City Police Department has an app both on Google and on Android. Apple, that you can download. You can submit tips anonymously through there. There's several ways to do that, and we do get quite a few tips from all 3 sources. The Crime Stoppers, obviously, most people are familiar with that one. That one makes you basically a confidential informant, and they pay rewards, and we don't even know who those rewards go to. We just get the data from East Alabama. We like to push East Alabama Crime Stoppers the most because they share data all across the Southeast. So we're getting tips from crimes that happen in our jurisdiction that are also related to Auburn, Opelika, Columbus, even down in Macon and Barber County. So it's a good regional tool that we use to tie in a lot of our crimes throughout the region. So yeah, we have lots of different ways, and we'll be updating our police app here pretty soon, and hopefully we'll be able to have another push on that to try to get more people to download that and use that, because that was really a good one and easy, and everybody has their phone nowadays and can take photographs and upload tips in the moment, not just wait to call us on Monday.
Okay. Okay, so that's East Alabama Crime Stopper. Do we have a local number? Then they just need to look up East Alabama Crime Stopper. They wanna,
Yes, if they search East Alabama Crime Stoppers, then that's all located on there. We've also got a link on our police department webpage as well as the app that can be downloaded. We'll be integrating both the app and the Crime Stoppers pretty soon. That's one of the upgrades we're gonna be doing. But right now, they're two separate programs, but we'll integrate those together so it's more convenient for people to be able to find those.
okay. Yeah, we that really hurts when we hear what we been hearing over here and across the water also. So I know we're working on it. Thank you
Chief,
so
I'm sorry, Vicky.
Go ahead.
Chief, if
Councilman
I'm not
Ward.
mistaken, both of the murders that took place this weekend, suspects have been identified, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, both cases have the suspects identified.
Okay.
Okay. Is that okay? Any other question, Mrs. Johnson?
No, I didn't have anything else. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Day?
Yes, sir. I'd like to, I guess, Todd, give me an update on Austin Assembly Park. Give me an update on that, please, sir.
Todd, are y'all there? Hello, Todd?
If he don't come on, Mr. Day, I'll get you an answer for that.
Okay, well, Mr. Hunter, let me ask you a question. I was down, well, I guess I ride around the park, but anyway, more than a game down there at Meadow Lane. They're gonna start doing some more things down there during the spring or summer months. I know they'll, can we get an update on that as well?
I will. I'll get that also from Todd. I know they had been working with coaches went through, that was really leading that, is went through some medical problems. And we all been praying for him. I don't know what his status is at this point in time, but Todd had it on the list as another thing that we was gonna get started back up and trying. It was so hard getting participants, believe it or not. It was really difficult. They put forth a great effort of trying to get people into that. So I don't know how to work with the restart, but they went at it pretty hard. So we'll see how it works this time, the next time, brother.
Okay, thank you, sir. To our chief of police, how long is the training for those officers that used the taser? How long that training is? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month?
Oh, you're talking about the recertification and those are 1 day courses. Those are recertification.
Oh, 1 day?
Yeah,
Okay, do all our
that's
officers obtain a taser? Do all of them have that?
You have to have the certification. All patrol officers and probably 80% of the CID personnel are certified on tasers. I'm not certified on tasers, so if you're not certified, you can't carry one. But yeah, if you're also if you carry one, then you have to go through the training and you have to recert every year.
And do all our officers have body cameras, Chief?
They all have body cameras, yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay.
Gotcha. You're good. You're good. I could give you another question to ask with that one, Mr. Day. Not only do they have it, it's mandatory.
Oh,
and
wow.
it's written policy and protocol in place for those.
Okay, let's see. Now I noticed that we have unauthorized use of water, sewage, and garbage. We still working on that, or we still fixing that problem that we have here in the city of Phenix City?
Is that an investigation question or is that was an utility report?
Well, I that's what I read. You know, we have unused. I guess somebody's still doing what they do in the old days already.
No, we actually make cases on a regular basis, just like thefts from Walmart for shoplifters. We make thefts for water, theft of sewage, theft of all kinds of services. So yeah, that's an ongoing everyday response, and we make cases where appropriate and get them to pay for what they're taking. So that's always going to be an ongoing activity.
Okay, this other question I have, I know we had a program in place, replacing those old pipes, water lines, stuff like that. I know there's so many got to be replaced. That we still continue doing that phase 1, phase 2 on that.
Yes, we are. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Gordon, you have any questions?
I don't have any.
All right. Neither do I. So we'll proceed on. Thank you all, council. Next item for discussion. As we know, there's a MOU for the community school United Consortium partners. And this is up for discussion. I think this is one of the ones with the Muskogee County School District as well as Phenix City School District. And I think it's particular with the Phenix City Elementary School. But Chief, Mr. Hunter, you all correct me if I'm wrong with that, but it is up for discussion. And so Mr. Hunter, Mr. Smith.
Go ahead, Chief.
All right, Chief Hunter. Yes, Mayor, this is actually pretty exciting news, and it really ties back into what Ms. Vicki Carter-Johnson spoke to this morning, or this earlier in this meeting, about what we need to do moving forward to address some of the shortcomings that we have in our society, as well as providing opportunities to not just children, but to families. Quite frankly, these is a directive that has been tackled by the United Way of Chattahoochee Valley. Ben Moser and his group have written a very detailed, very complicated interdisciplinary program that is going to be piloted by a school in Muskogee County and also a school in Phenix City. The school in Phenix City, as you alluded to, was the Phenix City Elementary School on South Railroad. They've identified that school as being where we're going to start this program. And if you've had a chance to read through this MOU, the MOU basically lists very many, about 45 different agencies, including healthcare providers, hospitals, schools, governments, help, everything that you can imagine that a person would need to be successful in life. And those services are going to be targeted to that school system, or to particularly that school. And as hopefully as this continues to grow, it'll grow out into the entire school system entirely. The grant actually was applied for today. Ben Moser and I had a meeting this morning, and they pushed the button, and it's going to be a $5 million federal grant that's going to be coming to start this program. There is no financial obligation to the city to enter into this MOU, but there are lots and lots of opportunities for the city to be involved in this community support program. If you look at the Exhibit C is the one that's most likely going to affect us, and things that we're going to do, and a lot of the things that we're already doing, particularly as a law enforcement agency, but fire department does it with their fire prevention programs that they do in the schools. Even utilities and public works, when they send career guides, Parks and Rec does a similar types of programs where there's sporting events, providing opportunities for kids to play sports. Those are really all tied together, and so we're doing those things now, but we're going to focus those efforts specifically on this program and provide those opportunities to people in the city who may not, number one, be aware of them, and number two, not know how to either pay for those activities or participate in those activities or manage their household in a way that they can participate in those activities. Number one, where it talks about the broad support from the community, we're definitely going to be involved in that and taking the overall services and activities that we as a city provide and going into the school and working with not just students, but families, the parents, the teachers, the administrators, to make sure that we're giving those opportunities to those students, as well as number two, support some early education programs that's going to create more success, more academic success, and help parents identify what those milestones are and how those successes are going to make those children more successful in our community. Also some high quality after school programs. And this is not, I remember some of you all might remember the old midnight basketball leagues that they did years ago back in the early 90s, trying to give kids disadvantaged children some opportunity to participate in some activities. This is way beyond that. This is providing tutoring, health care, vision screenings, anything that you can imagine that needs to happen to make a child successful. I mean, you just think about how many children go without diagnosed eye care or diagnosed hearing, and they're struggling in an academic setting. And sometimes it may be by the time they're in the 6th or 7th grade before they're identified as having that need. This is a tremendous opportunity for us as a city to partner with the United Way and with the school system to bring our expertise and our ability to help bring those services into the school, providing financial counseling to parents, teaching them how to measure financial success, start thinking about where these children are going to go to college. And this is starting in the 3rd through the 5th grade. This is the target population. You start getting parents talking about college in 3rd to 5th grade. They've got a roadmap now to be able to get those children to a higher educational standard. That's what we're looking for. And then they're not left by the 8th grade with no educational opportunities and then become a criminal justice problem. Which leads us to number 6 on that list, which is juvenile crime prevention, which I'm very interested in. Juvenile crime prevention and rehabilitation programs. You know, certainly in a criminal justice setting, some of the changes in the implementation of policies and procedures that we as a police department are looking at certification with CALEA certification, making sure that we're given opportunities. We need to adjust the way we approach juvenile justice, the way we look at children, instead of stigmatizing them with so-called crimes, but working with them through mental health professionals, working through counselors, as well as job opportunities. I looked to Todd in Parks and Rec and their programs that they have with part-time work, getting schools an opportunity, or getting kids that are in school opportunities to work. This, I think, is really, it's just a whole gamut of services that are going to be focused like a laser beam at that school. And you're going to see, I think, some successes coming out of that will reverberate throughout the community. It'll make families healthier and stronger. And also, you know, it's the definition of community policing from my standard, but it really will be community engagement from all aspects. And it's going to take a lot of people's involvement. And certainly the city is going to be looking to play a big part in that. So if you have any questions or concerns, or if you think that you have some opportunities, we know that we'll have opportunities to provide mentors. We'll have opportunities to provide training. We have experts in the field in a lot of these areas that we can bring to the school. And they're not part of the curriculum, so you can't do it, you know, from 8 to 5. They got to learn reading, writing, and arithmetic from 8 to 5. But after 3, then we can open that up to things that are of interest to the community. Things like, you know, what do we do to help children become social citizens? How do we, you know, encourage them to seek higher learning opportunities and so forth? So it's a really exciting program. So I'm excited to present it to you all, let y'all know that this is just on the ground floor. We'll be having our fingers crossed to see how that grant application goes that was submitted today. And this is something new that I think is it'll pay dividends in the long term. And you'll see, because I've talked about in the past, some of the crimes that you see now that are being committed by 18 to 25-year-olds, the 18 through 25-year-old, that generation may have been lost, and we don't need another 18 to 25-year-old generation lost. We need to start now in the 3rd grade, trying to figure out a way to give them opportunities so they're not falling off the societal wheel, so to speak, and getting off the merry-go-round. We need to keep them engaged, keep them looking forward to opportunity, because that's what leads us to criminal justice problems, when the opportunities are not there. And there's plenty of opportunities, but people sometimes have a hard time finding them. This is what's going to do. It's just going to give people a roadmap to not only help themselves, but also help their children become successful citizens in our community.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Council, any questions or comment?
I have just a brief comment, you know, full service community schools, you know, partnering. I think this is an awesome program. Like Chief said, it is so needed in our community. I think once again, when they get to that age group, they're looking for something. And if they don't have anything constructive and positively inclusive, like something like this, they're going to divert to something like, drugs or violence. So this is like a one-stop shop. And I'm just so glad to hear that we got something underway, plans in place to get our children and our community, I guess social ready, like he said. This is a great program. I'm so pleased to hear this. And I know the citizen will be very receptive of this, and they'll be glad to know that we got something in the works for our children forthcoming. So thanks for working on this, and that $5 million grant, we'll be praying for it.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Johnson. Thank you.
I'd like to ask a question. Chief, I read some of this, and I noticed here in the all those areas that Columbus have in here, and I noticed how many area that we have, and we just got one school going to be participating in. And also, I want to ask this question: how do you go about choosing that particular school?
Well, the school was chosen based on the demographics of the population of those students. And Columbus has one school, and that's Fox Elementary. Phenix City has one school, and that's Phenix City Elementary. Those are the two pilot programs. These are the two pilot schools. Again, this is just the beginning of the program. We hope that once we kick this program off, it'll grow, obviously, to the entire school system. But you got to start somewhere, and that was the school that we identified, and through research and also through demographics. You're talking about the low to moderate income population and ones that have less resources, less access to resources. That's what we're going to do, is basically pump all those resources that you and I may take for granted. This school system, or that school, particularly folks that go to that school, they don't have the access to those same resources we do. They don't have the health insurance. They don't have the the doctor on speed dial. They don't have those luxuries, and this will provide them that ability to have contact with doctors and counselors and mentors and educators, you name it. That's where this is going to come on. Basically, a Sylvan learning system for that school. That they're going to make them some smart kids coming out of that system if this program takes off.
Well, I read most of this, and it sounded like, a matter of fact, I know it's a good program for the community and for the Bi-City area, shall I say. Real good. Thank you for that, Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Day. Thank you, Mr. Chief. Chief, any other comments, questions? Well, if the pleasure of the council, if there's not any, as far as the work session, we will at this time. I think we can suck it up and we will proceed on for the discussion for the agenda on tomorrow, if that's the pleasure of the council. That's okay, council?
That's fine.
Okay. Proceeding on, as has been stated, this is our first council meeting of the month of March, which is the second tomorrow at 9 o'clock. It will be done by Zoom at 9. I will call the meeting to order. And also for the invocation, we have Pastor Al. Yes.
Hey, Mayor, I'm sorry. I just wanted to let you know that Miss Walker is on. I don't know.
If she's on right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, as I stated, we will afford her the opportunity, and the timing is good right before we get into the agenda. Mrs. Walker, are you out there? Mrs. Walker? Hello?
I believe she's got her microphone muted.
I'm going to send her a request to unmute.
I've unmuted it. I'm sorry. Hello, how are you all doing?
Fine. Ms. Walker?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Okay, we can hear it. Can everyone hear her?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, Ms. Walker? Ma'am?
I'm sorry about the inconvenience.
Oh, okay, we kind of semi-table it until to give you time to get on. So with that, the floor is yours, Mrs. Walker.
Yes, sir. My name is Veronica Walker, and I am a resident of Phenix City, Alabama, Russell County. And I was coming to approach you all about being the voice of Phenix City, Alabama, if possible. The reason why is because I think I have met with you all before, and I really haven't been able to do my marches and my walks like I have been due to health issues and family issues and all. So I was trying to see if there's a way that I can become a voice for Phenix City, for the children, and also for our communities. To like do organizations, have events, and start fundraisers, and like go into schools and talk with the kids, and have certain things going on within our city, and see if we can get the bowling alley and the skating rink back up for our children here in Russell County.
Okay. Yes, let me say this. First question, if you would like to be a voice, yeah, we want you and everybody else to be a voice.
Right.
And this council, these department heads, the city manager, we can't do it by ourselves. We certainly need you and everyone else to be a voice in this community.
Right. Right.
So it would need to start with you all. You all can, start any kind of organization meeting for you all to help mitigate some of the problems that we're having.
Okay.
Sure, we do encourage that. And also as far as the skating rink and the bowling alley, yes, we would love to have that, but that's not something that the city take upon itself to do. We have to get investors or people who would like to invest their funds and to be to open. That's not anything that the council or the city would initiate. However, we would recruit those type of investors who may be interested in something as far as that, which we want to help grow our city, as you stated, for the reason of giving our kids something else to do, but also for us to be able to generate income where we as a council and as a city can put more money into our community to help create a life. But that would have to fall upon those persons.
Understandable.
But as far as being a voice, we certainly need this community. And as I stated, it's really time for us in the community to lock arms and lift each other up and all the things that are going on. But surely you all would have to be the ones. We can't just say this person does it or this person does it. Because it takes the community.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to speak on that behalf. And I will do my best for my city and my community and my surrounding area.
Well, thank you for showing the initiative, but get some people in the community, because I can promise you this: there's other people who have addressed us or who have talked to us that wants to do something.
Okay.
So yes, there are people out there.
Yes, sir.
There are people that probably hadn't initiated that you may can persuade us to be a part of it. But yes, we want people in our community to be the voice. And just like, since today on our meeting, we want people who see things to say things.
Amen.
And people who can kind of help mitigate and be proactive with things.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's all about this community.
Right.
And creating a quality of life for everyone.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Walker. Appreciate it.
For having me on. If I have anything, I will let you all know.
Good. Please do. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. Have a good day.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Proceeding on, council, as far as the agenda for tomorrow, as I stated, it is the first one of the month, March the 2nd at 9 o'clock. It will be done by Zoom. We do have a confirmation from Reverend Alan Griffith of Emmanuel Baptist Church to do the invocation. Is that correct, Melanie? He has confirmed?
Yes, sir, he has.
After that, we will ask the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag. That would be done by Vicky Carter Johnson. And then after that, council, as I've stated, and I will continue to state it because it's such a great highlight. And as I've said before, in today's environment, I don't think you said thank you enough sincerely. So at that time, we will have a presentation and proclamation. The first one is recognizing our employees, who is the key assets of this company. So that will be done by our city manager, Wallace Hunter, as well as the HR director, Stephanie Chastain. So they will present those persons, and we have quite a few, and that has some years of experience. So that's a great thing. So we have a few of those that will be presented with their certificate. Okay, council?
Yes.
Steph, anything else I may need to add to that, Mr. Hunter?
No, sir. We've got 12 with 120 years between them all.
Exactly. Yeah. That's pretty good. That saves
Thank
a
you,
lot.
Steph. I had added those up, Steph. That's what I got, 120 years.
That says something about them, and it also says a lot about the city being employed for the city. So we are certainly appreciative of that. And also after that, we do have 3 proclamations that will be read by Mrs. Lee. The first one is a proclamation recognizing Glenwood School basketball team for the 2020-2021 AISA AAA State Championship. That proclamation will be read by Ms. Lee. That coach name is Dusty Perdue. And we will present them with a proclamation. Okay, council? All minds are clear?
Yes.
Also proceeding on, we will have another proclamation recognizing Glenwood varsity cheerleader for the 2020 AISA State Champion Large Varsity Division. That coach name is Mandy Hutchinson, and we will be presenting them with a proclamation for being the state champion for large varsity cheerleader. And also proceeding, we will also have a recognizing through a proclamation Glenwood volleyball team for the 2021 AISA AAA State Champions, and that coach name is Kayla Strength. So a lot of good things. And for us presenting proclamation, we will do 3 tomorrow, and we will ask Ms. Lee to read those. And I'm not sure, and Ms. Lee, correct me if I'm wrong, or Mr. Hunter, I guess at least the head coach would be on Zoom, or how would that, do you know, Melanie? Or
As far as I know, Coach Dusty Perdue will be on. I'm not sure if we officially heard back from Coach Hutchison and Coach Strength or not, but I can double check that.
okay. But anyway, we will have some of those participants there. Okay, council? All minds clear on? Okay, and then under the city clerk proceeding on, we have the approval of a regular scheduled meeting minutes for the February the 16th work session, as well as February the 17th council meeting. And since we were all there, at the pleasure of the council, we will take that in one vote. And so I will ask for a motion and a second to approve the 16th work session as well as the 17th council meeting. Okay?
That's fine.
That's okay with everyone?
That's fine.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Then proceeding on the city council, unfinished business. If there's something that comes up between here and there, or here and yonder, as I say, that would be the time to discuss it. And after that, we would proceed on with the resolutions on the administrations. We have a resolution in reference to granting easement to Alabama Power Company to provide electrical service for the Liberty Hill development. We will ask Mrs. Lee to read that resolution, council, and I will ask for a motion and a second. Any comments, questions, or discussion? And again, let me reiterate, if you have any questions, for the sake of time, even on tomorrow, let's try to ask all the questions today. But we will ask for a motion and a second on that. Okay? Good, that's good stuff there. Proceeding on the building department. We have a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor and the city manager to enter into a 36-month lease agreement with Best Copy Products Incorporation for one Sharp MX 3071 network digital color copier in the amount of $110.16. Ms. Lee will be asked to read that resolution, and after that, council, we will ask for a motion and a second for approval. Any comments, questions, or discussion? Okay, proceeding on, next on the city clerk's department. We have a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor and city manager to enter into a 36-month lease agreement with Best Copy Products Incorporation for one Sharp MX 5071 network digital color copier in the amount of $208.80 per month. So we will ask the clerk to read that resolution, and I will ask for a motion in a second to approve. Comments, questions, or discussion? Okay, if not, proceeding on the engineering department. We have a resolution in reference to authorizing and declaring the mayor and the city manager to accept a proposal from Stone and Sons Electrical Contractors Incorporation to replace traffic signals located at the intersection of South Railroad Street and Lakewood Drive in an amount not to exceed $31,000. So the clerk will be called upon to read that resolution, and after that, council, I will ask the council for a motion and a second to approve. Comments, questions, or discussion?
Mr. Hunter,
Yes, sir.
when he said Stone Electric's doing that, that have to do with the light, had nothing to do with the railroads, safety cross, stuff like that. Is that right?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other questions, comments, or discussion? If not, also proceeding on the engineering department. We have a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor and city manager to enter into a 36-month lease agreement with Best Copy Products Incorporation for one Sharp MX 5071 network digital color copier in the amount of $184.62. We'll ask the clerk to also read that resolution, council, and I will ask the council for a motion and a second to approve. Comments or questions or discussion? If not, we will proceed with the fire department, and I would like to caveat this where you see in the, before I read it, where it says Sharp MX 5071, that needs to be changed, council, to MX-7, 3071.
Yeah, I saw the email, yeah.
So with that, I will, it's a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor and city manager to enter into a 36-month lease agreement with Best Copy Products Incorporation for one Sharp MX 3071 network digital color copier in an amount of $124.94. The clerk will be asked to read that resolution also, council, and I will ask for a motion in the second from the council to approve. Any comments, questions, or discussion? Arthur, you cleared your throat, so.
Well, you know what? I observed this as well. And I've looked through it today, and I know just about every department. And then we have we either changing the carpet out or getting us paying the rent. Is this time of year for that or something? I know just about about 3 or 4 or 5 apartments doing that. Department, shall I say?
Well, go ahead.
Yes, sir, Mr. Day. What we're doing is we're just refreshing. So the 36-month lease agreements that they had on their existing copiers have expired. And so we're just basically getting new equipment.
Okay, I was just wondering. I know about 5 or 6 departments.
But also on each one now, we're saving some money based on the other lease.
Okay.
When you look at it, every one of them, we're able to save some money compared to what the lease was before they expire. Am I correct, Mike?
I think just about all of them. I think one of them may be slightly more.
This is that's the one on the human resource, I think.
Yes, sir. I believe so. Yeah, and it's not much. It's just it's like I think it's less than $1 more.
But overall, we're saving some money. The city is saving some money.
Yes, sir.
So the net, we're saving money. The only one that didn't change was we'll get to that one. But again, I will ask for a motion in a second for the approval of that resolution for that copy. Okay, council?
All right.
Okay, next, golf course department. We have a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor and city manager to enter into a lease purchase agreement, lease number 1181-547-1 with PNC Equipment Finance LLC for 60-month $1 buyout lease at $6,114.23 per month for a total payout of $366,853.80. We'll ask the clerk to read that resolution, and we will ask for a motion in a second for approval, council. Okay?
Okay.
Right? Since there's no questions or comment or discussion, we will proceed on. As I stated on the Human Resource Department, we have a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor and city manager to enter into a 36-month lease agreement with Best Copy Products Incorporation for one Sharp MX 5071 networked digital color copier in an amount of $184.62. The clerk will read that resolution, council, and I will ask from you all for a motion and a second to approve. Comments,
So,
questions?
are we leasing that to buy it, so to pay off $6,646.32?
Wait a minute now, are you talking about the golf course author? I just read the human resource. So do we need to go back to the golf course?
Hold on a minute. That's HR right there.
Yeah, that's the one I just read. No one had any questions, or maybe you didn't hear me. So let's back up.
We are in HR. That's HR, right?
Yes. What question you're asking?
I noticed here it said this is HR. I think that's what one we are in. It says total payout is $6,646.32 for 36-month term, and then we paying $65.18 each month. Is that rent to buy or what?
No, that's just.
No, sir. It's not a buyout. Because after the 36 month is over, it would be so expensive to maintain those. After the 3 years, it's just cheaper just to do a new lease agreement.
So that is a 3 year, 36 month. Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
When you mentioned buyout, I thought you was talking about the one with the golf course, but these are leases. So my bad on that.
No, we good.
All right. Next on the IT department, we have a resolution in reference to declaring various items as surplus to be sold as scrap and be disposed of at the city landfill. Ms. Lee will be called upon to read that resolution, council, and I will ask you all for a motion and a second to approve. Comments, questions, or discussion? All right, since there's not any, proceeding on the IT department. We have a resolution in reference to authorizing and directing the mayor and the city manager to enter into a master service agreement with Payment Us. Am I pronouncing that right, Mike, or is it Paymentus?
Paymentus.
Paymentus Corporation for Interactive Voice Response IVR Payment Processing Services. We'll ask the clerk to read that resolution, and we will ask for a motion on the second for approval on that. Any comments, questions, discussion?
What do that do, Mike?
Mr. Day, that's going to do is it's going to allow customers to pay over the phone. Initially, their utility bills, they'll be able to pay those over the phone.
Oh,
so
okay.
right now, when they call in and select option 2 to pay over the phone, they actually have to do the payment with a live person. And this is going to be an automated system, so it's going to free our staff up to work on other things.
That's good. Okay, thank you. More to
Mike,
take now.
it's not going to be a whole lot of prompts, is it? Press 1 for this, and you hear the response, then you got to press 3, and is it? And is there a fee for it?
No, ma'am. It's no cost to the city. It's actually paid for by user transaction fees. And it's $1.95 for credit and debit cards, and it's $1.95 for checks. And there shouldn't be too many prompts. It's basically going to be, enter your account number and then enter your credit card number or your check information, your bank account and your routing number.
Yeah. Well, that's good. We're giving our citizens another option. So,
But is that going I know it's going to be safe. And I'm about to ask, is that going to be safe? Because a lot of folks might don't want to put the credit card, all that stuff out there.
Yes, sir. It's safe. It's a lot of businesses nowadays, they offer that. So it's secure.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Any other comments, questions, discussion? If not, proceeding on, council, on the library department. We have a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor and city manager to enter into a 36-month lease agreement with Best Copy Products Incorporation for one Sharp MX 5071 network digital color copier in the amount of $184.03 per month. We'll ask Ms. Lee to read that resolution, and we'll ask the council for a motion and a second to approve. Any comments, questions, or discussion? Okay. Then next, on the utilities department, we have a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor and the city manager to enter into a 36-month lease agreement with Best Copy Products Incorporation for one Sharp MX 5071 network digital color copier in an amount of $196.31. We'll ask Mrs. Lee to read the resolution, council, and I will ask from you all for a motion and a second to approve. Comments, questions, or discussion? Okay. Proceeding on the ordinance. We do have a public notice in first reading. It is a letter of recommendation for the Planning Commission public notice and ordinance to rezone 0.34 acre of land located at 5202 Somerville Road from A1 zone low density residential district and general agricultural district to C3 zone neighborhood commercial district. David Alexander Quinney is the owner. This is the one that Mrs. Moore talked about earlier. So we will ask the clerk, council, to read the public notice as well as the ordinance and to place and to accept the letter. And if it's a pleasure, we will take all that in one setting. And I will ask for a motion for the approval of the public notice and to place the ordinance on first reading, to accept the letter, approve the public notice, and to place on first reading. Did I say first letter? Did I say first reading at first or first letter at first? Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. I think, let's see.
If I said first letter, I meant to say first reading.
Yes.
So again, letter of recommendation from the Planning Commission, public notice and ordinance to rezone 0.34 acre of land located at 5202 Somerville Road from an A1 zone low density residential district and general agricultural district to a C3 zone neighborhood commercial district. David Alexander Quinney is the owner. And again, we'll ask the clerk to read the letter, the first reading, next public notice and ordinance, and then I ask for a motion to accept the letter, to place on first reading, as well as approve the public notice. All in one setting. Okay, council?
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Lee? Okay, so we're gonna do all that at one time, okay? And one vote. Next, as board appointments, and I think Ms. Lee spoke of this earlier, Historic Preservation Commission, we have 2 openings. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Mrs. Lee, you have contacted one and have not contacted the other?
Yes, sir. This is actually a different board. This is the board that's been on your work session agenda last month. I always try to look ahead at the boards so that you'll know what's coming down the pike on your agendas for the next month. This is the first time that's shown up on your council agenda. We were able to contact one of the people on the board, and she is willing to serve again, but we have not been able to contact the gentleman. Every time and I've tried to get different phone numbers, but the phone number we have listed has restrictions. When we call that phone, it says it has restrictions and they won't put the call through. Now there is a meeting on this board on Wednesday, and Chief will be going over some stuff with them. And if this gentleman is at the board meeting, I've asked Chief to see, if we could get a good contact number for him. So I don't know if y'all want to table the whole thing, appoint the lady and maybe table his, or I'm not sure what y'all want to do.
Well, it sounds like that's what we'll have to do, but we are going to give this person the benefit of the doubt. So after Wednesday, we should know that person involvement. So
right. If they're there at the meeting, and if they for some reason can't go to the meeting, and I did mail out packets to the people on that board, and none of the packets came back, so I'm assuming he received his packet, but I still wasn't able to confirm that because I tried today, but still had the restrictions on the phone.
So council, are you all okay if we table it due to the fact that they're meeting this Wednesday? And so we can have more of a clarity on the person that Mrs. Lee hadn't been able to get in touch with. That will give us time, and I don't want to say it this way, but it makes us think, I don't want to say assume, it makes us think that the person is not interested, and so we would have to turn in some names for this. So if it's the pleasure of the council, I think it may be better that we table this due to the fact Wednesday, Thursday, we'll have more clarity on which direction to go on, and then we can put it on the agenda for the 16th. If that's okay, council.
That's fine with me. Yes, I suggest we table. That's fine.
Mayor, I do have one quick question. I know you said Chief Ray is on that board. Where and what time is the meeting on Wednesday? Can you let us know?
Yes, ma'am. That meeting is at 4 p.m. in the afternoon at the Troy campus in Phenix City.
What is the just so that I can give this information back to that same gentleman approached me about a historic landmark on an old school that was near 24th over there. And is there any type of information procedure I can get so that they can approach the board about getting a historic marker?
What I would do, Mrs. Johnson, is point him toward Chief Smith.
Okay.
Because we need to stay out of that. I just appoint him or her to Chief Smith.
Okay. I'll let them know.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions, council? Next, under the city attorney, Mr. Graham.
Yes, sir, Mayor and Council. We have 3 claims on the agenda for tomorrow. The first claim is filed by State Farm ASO Latanya Miller. This is a situation where one of our police cars was working an accident, had pulled off the road. The officer left the car out of gear, not in park. The traffic that was coming by at a high rate of speed pushed the car into Ms. Miller's car. It was damaged, and the accident report, as y'all probably already looked at, showed us at fault. Chief's recommendation is to give me the authority to negotiate a settlement. But, this is another one of those things where the owner went straight to their insurance company. They didn't get 3 estimates. They just got 1 estimate. Now, the last case, if y'all remember that y'all voted to settle last time, didn't have 3 estimates. They sued us and we ended up settling it for about half of what they were asking for. So based on them not having but 1 estimate, I'm recommending that you deny the claim.
Okay.
Because we require everybody else to have 3 estimates.
Okay. So council, we've heard the recommendation from our attorney. So I'll ask you for a motion and a second to approve his recommendation.
Yeah. And Mr. Attorney, I read that I looked for the 3 estimates and I couldn't find them either. I looked for that. I know you're supposed to get 3.
No, these insurance companies never do, Mr. Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. The second claim is filed by Barbara Port, care of the Bentz Law Firm. This is where a city drain pipe that had rusted out caused a sinkhole that this woman fell into. Says she injured her left leg, hip, and body. It says that the pipe drain not properly fixed, but in Ms. Moore's memorandum, it shows that it was fixed on in December of 2020. Now, this is another one of those claims where they don't ask for anything. Everything's to be determined. You know, they ought to know. I mean, I don't think the woman was hurt that bad. They ought to know by now what her injuries are. I'm inclined to tell y'all to deny it based on not having full information. But maybe we can just table it for till the next March meeting, and let me try to get with Ms. Port and Mr. Bentz to try to determine how much they're wanting. And if they insist on not, doing what we ask them to do, then my recommendation next meeting will be to deny the claim.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Is that, I noticed the fence there, is that actually in her yard or on the outside near the street?
Let me get back to my pictures. Angel May can tell you.
Mr. Day, that is actually in her backyard. There's a drainage easement that had a corrugated metal pipe in it that runs through there. So it actually runs from her backyard back up to the street. But we did have several sinkholes there due to that corrugated metal pipe rusting out and failing.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Oh, so it says we fixed it in December 2020, but she claims the injury was in August of 2020, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
So, Jimmy,
they've had plenty of time to determine what her injuries are.
Yeah, but let me ask you this, Jimmy, and this a good question, Griffin. I was going to ask, but when they filed the claim, has it been past 6 months?
No. Let's see.
From the date of the injury.
Date of the incident.
We received it in our office on February the 12th.
Oh, well, no.
And they're saying the date of incident was August the 17th.
Of August.
Yeah,
So,
August the 17th.
But let me ask you this. This is for my knowledge also, Jimmy. Say if we had gotten that claim on February the 18th, and the accident happened on the 17th. Is that not 6 months?
Yeah.
So would it? I mean, because I see where I thought that the signature is that on the claim form, is that 11 or 21? That's the reason why I asked that. Is that claim signature is 2/11?
It's probably 11 because we received it in here on the 12th, and their letters dated February the 11th.
Letters dated February 11th.
Oh,
So
okay.
to me, that looks like 2 1s. They just kind of,
They
but
got
I see where
20.
it did look like a 2. Yeah.
Yeah, they got, okay. I was just wondering, was they outside the scope? Not that we don't want to do the right thing.
No, I don't, I think they were a couple of days inside.
Okay.
And the last one,
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Angel, do you remember what was in that report about the injury?
Yeah, if you go back and you read the report, and like we said, this happened in August, so she goes to the hospital on December the 23rd, and the chief complaint, and it says patient states that on 8/17/2020, she fell in a sinkhole on city property in front of her house. Patient states that she has a lawyer and feels she needs an MRI. Patient became tearful during the evaluation, stating that she's under a lot of stress with being a mother of two, working with her husband is currently deployed. And they found no evidence that they necessarily needed to do an MRI, but she insisted upon it.
And the other thing, I went to this is right across the street from where Sean lived at. I went and talked to her and everything, you know, and told her once I found this out about the sinkhole had been there and had engineering to come out on that particular day. And they came out, they blocked everything off right away, but it was nothing about, she didn't have any injuries. She was okay, she told me that particular day. This is an aftermath all of a sudden. You know, I told her we would have them to dig that out and go and make sure and search and do it, you know, investigation all the way back, which they end up doing. The total cost on that for that repair was what, Angel? You have that price over there with you?
It was around $70,000.
Okay. What? So what happened is when they was developing that subdivision, that was a little just drain area, and someone decided to build over that particular area, but it hadn't been any problems there with it, you know, because the lady had talked to the lady next door also, who had been there for years, you know, been at that site. But this particular young lady didn't have any, you know, injuries. She said she just about fell in a hole one time, but it was nothing going on at that particular time. So we started fixing everything, getting everything done, because I heard all about the thing about her husband being deployed and the whole works. And then all of a sudden, we get this.
Well, what happened, Mr. Hunter? She talked to her husband. That what happened.
Well, there are medical records in here from August.
They got 2020 the date.
August 23rd, so that would be like a week after the accident.
Yeah.
I don't think she waited until December to. I mean, I understand what you're saying with that one in December, but it does look like she was seen August 23rd, 2020 at an emergency department or something.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
But she told me she did, you know, I asked her how she was doing and stuff, and it wasn't no problem.
Oh, so you talked to her after that?
You
talked to her in between that and the December visit, I guess, is what you're.
Well, I talked to her, way after, but at the same time, she had, that wasn't a complaint, it was just a hole.
I got it. I see what you're saying now.
Yes.
Yeah. And she said that she was cutting her yard and fell in. Is that what the report said? I can't remember.
That's what, yes.
Yeah, it did.
Yes. Yeah, so
okay.
I don't know. I guess we'll see from here.
Let's just do this. Let's deny this claim.
Okay.
And we'll make the Bench Law Firm come up with some, my copy's bad. I can't even read some of the medicals. And I'll call her lawyer and tell him that we've denied it and he needs to explain to us. Let's see, she had a radiology, I guess, x-rays of her left knee.
Well, I think I read somewhere there, Jimmy, that it says in there the reason there's no amount is because she hasn't been fully cleared. I mean, I think that was just the explanation given.
Well, this is what I'm gonna recommend we deny it, and then I'll get with Mr. Bench and let him fill in the blanks, okay?
Okay.
All right, now this last one was filed by Greg Davis Law in Montgomery, Alabama. And I recommended that y'all let me negotiate a settlement. I have tried and tried and tried to get this Greg Davis. I've called him and left messages. I wrote him a letter. He just won't respond. And this Dennis Andrews, you know, is their client. And, you know, in their thing, they claim that he's got pain and suffering, medical bill expenses, damage to his personal property. And the thing about it is, the police officer cam that worked the accident, this guy's walking around on it joking, you know. They asked him if they could do anything for him. He said, no, I'm just gonna walk across the street and get my pastor to give me a ride home, da, 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 da. And then we come up with all this pain and suffering, medical bill and expenses, none of which they've sent. So, you know, and today it's kind of strange because I had not heard from this Greg Davis. A guy named Nick Pallarino from from Auburn called and wanted to discuss settling the claim. And it's the first time I've heard from this dude. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna ask y'all to, and by the way, they haven't submitted 3 estimates as they're required to. I tell you what, I'm gonna recommend denying the claim, and I'll call him and see what we can work out. The only thing I heard from Greg Davis was they wanted a rental car for their client. I told them we didn't do rental cars.
Okay.
And this thing was found back on October the 29th. They still not submitted any information other than what was submitted in the original claim, which is some photographs and stuff like that. And I think we probably made these photographs, but they've not given us any 3 estimates or anything like that. So I'm gonna, instead of dragging this thing out, I'm just gonna ask y'all to deny it. And as a matter of fact, today I'll call Mr. Pallarino and see what's what.
Mr. Graham, you want to table it or deny it? Which one?
I would say this, Mr. Day, table it till the next meeting, and if I can't work something out with this Pallarino guy, he's an attorney also, then I'll recommend denial next time.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Hahn, do you have anything?
Just wanted to inform you all that, and probably seen some of it, we have 2 large paving projects that's going, 2 super larges on one on Brickyard Road from the city limits back into the city all the way to Dillingham. Also, we have the ones for South Railroad Street. A lot of people probably ran into it. And we was fortunate and lucky enough that they opened the bridge on Opelika Road Friday. So we got that done. They got to come back and put another layer on, but they went and opened it up for us. So that alleviated a lot of things for people. So they was happy to see that and hear about that to take care of. But Railroad Street and Brickyard those are big projects. So I'm real happy to see that's happening throughout the city. And like the stretch, it covers a whole lot. So.
All right, good job.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we appreciate all the department heads, certainly appreciate the council. As I stated earlier, Steve may or may not be on in the morning. It's all predicated on how he feels. So let's all, say some prayers for him that he does feel better and hopefully he can attend in the morning. So with that, anything else? Anyone has anything else to say?
Yeah, I have a question, Mayor. Mr. Hunter.
Yes.
Now, I noticed what the old bowling alley used to be, somebody got a whole stack of tires out there. Been there for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
I noticed that. I said, man, somebody dumped some tires right there. A whole bunch of them is still out there. I know we can't catch everybody that's doing that on this vacancy property, but I don't know what we can do about that, but the tires are still there.
Yes, that's going to be private property. I think that the VFW is trying to get that, well, not that, not that one, that's old skating ring that they're trying to get, but up there on that other property, what you're looking at, that's owned by the Dudleys. So building department have to take care of that with them, talk to them about removing those.
Well, the VFW trying to get their property on 25th, isn't it?
Who's that?
They trying to get their property on the 25th? Is it 25th?
No, I think it's they working at old skating ring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the other property that you're talking about, that's owned by the Dudleys. So Gil, they'll take care of that.
Yes, we'll notify them tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I met the man in Green Island Hill on that property that old DHR sent over there. I know him pretty good, Green Island. All right, that's all I got. Thank you, sir.
I will say this, going back on something too, Mayor, if you don't mind, right, with some of that coming up. A lot of people keep asking different questions. I guess it's coming to mind about dumping these tires and stuff like that. We just have a lot of people with bad thought processes, and sometimes we can run across catching some people, and a lot of the time they're eluding to do things that way. That's the same thing as all this, the shootings and domestic disturbance and the things that's happening, and police are doing a good job, like I said, of trying to apprehend these suspects and people that's doing wrong. Well, I don't know with what we're doing with the schools, trying to go back in, everybody trying to have an answer, and these things is nothing new. It's getting worse. It's an ongoing thing. You know, you never know. You can't read these people's minds. You know, so we're putting a lot of things, preventive measures in place, and trying to make sure they're working. It's just something you can't take a vacation from. You can't take time off. It's something it's been over and over and over throughout our lifetimes, and it's repeated. So we just keep doing the things we can do to try to prevent it, and try to, like I say, where a lot of stuff starts at home and in the schools, you know, and it's going to take all of that, what people were saying, the churches, a lot of praying, people willing to get on the information line and report these things, because there's no way to be able to see everything that's going on. So it's a lot of things that I've had to call the police several times myself here lately, because of a lot of vagrants that we have, a lot of things that's going on. You know, I've had sustained property damage. Everybody, Dr. Kinzer and a few of the other buildings down from where I own a building at, sustained bad damage. We got a lot down here off Whitewater Avenue now. A lot of vagrants is there. We had to keep them off the elevators, out of the parking garage. It's a little more heavy duty than I've seen it in a while. So we're out there, and the chief will tell you, I'm making calls every day, trying to report things and getting things taken care of. So it's a lot, and we need everybody, when you see something, you need to pick up the telephone and make a report of it and call us. Thank you.
Mr. Hunter, and to our chief, let me ask a question here. I realized that we had 2 shootings in our city, and I realized, I know one was in District 3 down on Old Sierra Road with the tire place on it. And I know I missed the news earlier, but when we have a fatality, and I'm gonna say my district, I would like to know, now let me get something straight. I realize I can't do anything about it, but I like to be in the know. All I know is gonna be on an ongoing investigation. I know that. There was the procedures, and I thought, I remember when I first came on council years ago, when there was a fatality in the district, they notified that particular council. And all we could do was just be in the know. We can't make any remarks or anything like that. We were just in the know, because there was always the ongoing investigation.
Okay.
That's
we set that up to where I notify the mayor, and the mayor notify you all. But I didn't get I talked to the mayor last night on that. We talked about, well, today we talked about it again today, but not last night. But just, I was in the middle of getting some things done, and he was too. That's why you didn't get, sorry about that. You to
Well,
get,
I understand.
that's on
Now-
me right there. So, but that's my process. I usually.
Now, let me say this, Mr. Hunter. Let me say this, Mr. Hunter and
Okay.
Chief. Let me say this at the risk to be redundant. Okay.
Yeah.
I know we can't do anything. I know I'm gonna say me. I can't do anything about it. I know it's always gonna be an ongoing investigation. All I do is keep my mouth closed. Hey, Mr. Day, we have a fatality in District 3 down there, and it's an ongoing investigation. That's what I tell my constituents. I will not say nothing. Can't do nothing about it. We got our police department handling everything.
Yes, okay. Just we should get that to us, but give us room when it's going on. We have a lot more going on than that, and sometimes you might get it a little bit late. The key to it with these ambulance chasers and people out there being with things and getting reporting stuff, it's hard to try to beat them.
Video, yeah.
So
Let me say this, Wallace, too.
Sure.
In council, if again, like Mr. Hunter just spoke, since I've been down here, I got down here not long before the meeting, he and I talked. So I didn't reach out because not enough time. However, when things happen, we're not going to know. What I would advise is that when it comes to your attention, because the street committee is powerful.
Yes.
They're very powerful. So in other words, chances are they're going to hear before the city manager, in some cases the chief here, and even us to hear. What I would advise, what I would do is just tell them, look, I can't talk about it. They're investigating it and I can't talk about it. That's not saying that we know anything, because we don't. Sometimes we don't hear. We may not hear. So the best, and I don't want to say alibi, the best answer, what I've learned was to just say, look, I can't discuss that. They're investigating and I can't discuss. And I don't even know what has happened. But I do know how powerful the street committee is.
Well, Mayor, that's what I just said, Mayor.
Yeah.
That's what I just
Right.
said.
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm saying, I realized that happened to me before a while, about two years ago. And I told this individual, it's an ongoing investigation. I don't know anything about it. All I know, somebody had a fatality down there in my district. It's an ongoing investigation. That's all I said.
Yeah, because I do, and I've said this before, it's okay if we don't know something. And then, I mean, but we will find out, and we will, if we can talk to them and let them know some things, that's what we would do. But it's
So, Mayor,
let me say something about this
Mayor
stuff.
Lowe,
don't need to know.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Mayor,
uh-huh.
I think he's just asking, and I would, ask also, just making us aware that there is a shooting. Now, who did, what did, how it did, just making us aware, or, if there's a murder or homicide in your community, in your district. I think just to, again, make us aware of it, not details.
But sometimes that won't be at the time that happens. It may be the next day. Also, what I'm saying,
it's not going
to. You will be made aware. It may not be as expediently as we could be, because they don't have all the information. And am I right?
It's not going to be. It's not going to be that way. You're not going to always.
There's no information. I think we're getting off on the wrong foot here. There's no information needed, Mayor. What I'm trying to say is this: once that be a fatality in that district, that's all that council need to know. They don't need to know any information, because our police department handle all of that. All we got to say is an ongoing investigation. That's all.
Okay, this is the key to it. This is the key to this. We settle all this. We're gonna slip sometime every once in a while, and it don't happen. Okay, I'll put out apologies for that. But at the same time, we're not gonna beat the street committee on something's happening. They know before I know sometimes. Sometimes you get calls, people call me the same way and ask me, I say, well, I'll find out what's going on. They hadn't had time to call me on this particular thing. And that falls, if I don't get to the mayor at that particular time and I'm dealing with the police chief, or if he's somewhere and I'm dealing with just getting the text about it from dispatch, we deal with that. But something surprising me, not really surprising me, because it happens every time. Do people not understand that our school systems work hard with these kids, trying to educate them? Their families work hard trying to help people and do things for people, and it's no surprise that this gonna happen. This is people. You know, it's a lot of tragic stuff that's going on. People, it kills me all the time when people get up and they say, you know, don't you know that if I knew somebody was going to shoot somebody or kill somebody, we wouldn't have any murders. We wouldn't have anything like that if we knew this stuff, but you can't read these people's minds. You don't know when it's going to happen and how it's going to happen. We try to put as many deterrents out there and make police cars and make the police, just make it visible. I was coming up Stadium Drive last week and 2 cars was drag racing on Stadium Drive. 2 charges. Right. What you say now?
I said it happens a lot. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right, yeah. Right in the middle of the day, but you don't know what's, and then they start weaving and dodging like they in the movies, you know, waving between cars. And it's like, something's wrong with these people. Something's wrong, but you don't know that's going to happen. And some of them, they'll hit somebody, they'll hit a car and keep going, you know, causing damage here and there, whatever. But how do we, God haven't given us that type of power to stop that. And sometimes I have to tell people that. I hadn't been blessed with that type of power of authority from God to stop these different things, you know, and it's tough out here. I mean, it's real tough if we can do this and whatever, but there go. And I know this went all the way out of the way in the conversation, but I understand what you're saying, Mr. Day. I surely do.
But let me say this, Mr. Hunter.
And Ms. Carter.
Let me say this. Interpretation is a good thing, but it can be a bad thing. And the way we interpret things is the way we interpret things. Mm-hmm. Mr. Day, what I was saying, and Ms. Johnson, once you say it once, something happened. My interpretation was shortly after that, or within a couple of hours. That's was my interpretation of once. Like today, I found out through Mr. Hunter, that was once. So that's what I'm saying. I interpreted that you were talking, or Ms. Johnson, you all was talking right shortly after an event happened. And what I was alluding to, that we may not know anything at that time. And as Mr. Hunter just alluded to, he may not even know. In a lot of cases, he doesn't know, particularly when it happened, and most of them happen on the weekend. So I'm not saying that you all should not know. You certainly should know. And I think I've done a pretty good job of letting you all know once I find out. However, sometimes you slip. But today, just found out. Now, again, let me say this, and I want to be clear. I knew about it yesterday because one of the guys I coached, but I had not talked to anybody from the city. So from that standpoint, I should not have contacted any of you all because I didn't hear, because you hear everything through the street. And so that's the reason why yesterday, because I had not talked to any officials, but I've been pretty spot on as far as letting you all know, you know, when things happen. But again, the interpretation of once to me means I took it as shortly after it happened, which within a few hours or something. And sometimes that just doesn't even get to the city manager, and he doesn't even get to me. So that's what I meant. I wasn't saying that you all not going to know, but it may be the next day. But again, I do want to say this. I knew yesterday through the street committee because I coached one of those young men. But it was not the time to call because I had not talked to any of the officials from the city to get the true story. That's the only thing I was saying. And I just wanted to, you know, clarify that we all have the right to know. And I think for the most part, we've done a pretty good job of communicating that. So, and you all are absolutely correct. So, but again, like today, when I got down, you know, Mr. Hunter was telling me about it. However, I did know about it yesterday or heard about it, but it was not from an official official standpoint. So, okay, all minds clear?
All minds clear.
Okay, so by the grace of God, we'll see everybody in the morning at 9 o'clock by Zoom. You all have a great day. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.